and we can hear people's cries for help. We can hear them saying like, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, why are you doing this, like, please, no, like he wouldn't even let them finish their sentence, and it was just pop.
Welcome back to Other People's Lives. I'm Joe Santagato.
I'm Greg Dybec.
For anyone out there that would like to be a guest on our show, hit us up. Our email is oplpodcast@gmail.com.
Today we're speaking with Jeff, and Jeff is a survivor of the Pulse nightclub shooting that happened in Orlando, Florida, in which 49 people were killed and 53 were injured. And Jeff himself was injured after being shot several times, and he lost 6 friends that night. So we've got Jeff on to talk about that tragic night, his experience, his recovery, and the aftermath since. So Jeff, thank you so much for being on today to share your story.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. So can you just talk us through that day? Do you recall, what you did that day leading up to going out to the club, and kind of what that night was supposed to be for you?
Yeah. It was just a typical, Saturday night, and we were having a good time. And I had a homegirl of mine, one of my best friends, V. She's a Greek girl, crazy Greek girl, and one of my best friends. So she was staying with me temporarily till her condo was fixed, and then she was just crashing on my couch and staying with me that week. And we're like, hey, it's the weekend, let's go out. And we ended up going out to meet some friends at a wine bar, and we ended up having a good time there. And then another friend of mine, Angel, met up with us there. We did a little bar hopping in the area. It's all like straight couples. Only Angel and I were the gay ones, and then V straight. So not that it matters. But anyway, so we were all having a good time. We're all drinking, bar hopping, taking pictures and that kind of stuff, right? And then we end up at the skate bar down the street, and they were having like 2-for-1 drinks. So we went there. Eventually, slowly but surely, everybody started leaving, and we ended up at that gay bar. There was only like us 3, and then one married couple. There was a friend of ours, and we were like, I think it was V, or one of them was like, hey, like, we should, go, the night is young, we should still do something. I'm like, wait, aren't we going to go back to my house? Because we had the bootleg of the new X-Men movie. So that was, yeah, so we were actually going to go back to my house to watch X-Men, and then huge Marvel fans here. So then we were like, we're going to do that. And then V's like, yeah, but the night's young. Like, we should still go do something. Why don't we do a Latin night? And I'm like, straight or gay? And she was just like, I don't care. You know me, I go wherever. And Angel's like, well, Pulse has a pretty decent Latin night. I'm like, yeah, they do. It's not our favorite place, but, whatever. And we're like, screw it, let's go. So we end up there. And thankfully, the married couple that was with us at the end, the wife, they were going to come with us. And the wife got a little too trashed, and she was kind of falling apart. And her husband's like, guys, I'd love to, to go with you guys, but, I need to take her home. And we were like, yeah, you need to take her home. Like, she doesn't look too well. So, she had to carry her, basically. So thank God that they never went out with us, because God knows what would have happened. And I definitely know she would have not even been conscious of what was going on, and she probably would have never made it. Anyway, we get there, and, the music's pumping. It's a pretty good crowd. And, we said hi to several friends. And unfortunately, a couple of those friends I did say hi to, it was the last time I would say hi to them. Little did we know what was going to happen, a little bit later on. And what ended up happening was, we were going to leave. It got to a point where we were like, all right, we're going to go. And then the DJ played my song, and I was like, wait, this is my summer jam. Me and my cousins been jamming to, it was Drake, One Dance. All I Need Is One Dance, that song.
Yeah.
This was 2016, right? 2016?
Yeah, 2016, summer 2016, June, yeah. So we were like, wait, that's my summer jam, wait. And then he mixed it into another Drake song, which was Controller. I'm like, wait, this is my other summer jam. And my friend Angel's like, Jeff, really? He's like, I'm just going to get it. I'll go get a drink, because it was last call. So
how long were you at the place before you decided, like, okay, we're going to head out?
About an hour or so, an hour and a half.
Okay.
We had gotten there like at 12:30 ish, I would say.
Okay.
So like 12:30 ish. So now it's like 1:45. It's last call, and you know, we're like, fine, let's get the drink. And I'm like, V, you want something? She's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, well, you come with us? She's like, no, I'm gonna stay sitting on the speaker or like by the speaker. I'll wait for you guys. So we're like, all right. So me and Angel go and grab a drink, and we say had a couple more friends. Once again, I did not know it was the last time I would see them, and they had asked me for a mixed CD. I'm like, I know who does that, right? But even in 2016, but like, so I would mix a lot of EDM house mixes, and I had online links, but some people wanted CDs, so I would hand out CDs at the clubs, and they were like, hey, do you have any more of your mixes? Like everybody at work and everybody at our pool parties loves your mixes. They're like, holy crap. So I'm like, yeah, like I'll get you guys some CDs, some mixes, or I'll send you a link. And they're like, all right, cool. And, gave them a hug and a kiss. Like, all right, I'll see you guys later. And that was the last time I saw them. After we got our drink, we hear the pop, pop, pop. And the DJ was in the middle of mixing it. So it's funny because I start looking at interviews by other survivors who I've never met, or at least I didn't meet at that time. And we all thought the same thing. Everybody thought it was part of the music. A lot of times hip hop mixes tend to, use sound effects during the mix.
Right.
And so it was a very noticeable sound, even with the music. Everyone just thought that it was part of the song.
Yes.
How many shots did you hear?
Several. It was just like, pop, 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 pop. It was just like, okay, I can't say the exact number, but like I know it was several, and it was coming from the entrance area, which would have been diagonally to my right, and I'm like, but we couldn't see because we're in a different room. Pulse had several like small rooms, like the main dance floor. Then there's like a back bar with a stage and go-go dancers, and then there's like a outdoor patio. And he came in through the main entrance, which would have led into the main room. So visually I couldn't see him at that moment, and but I could see that I could hear him. I could hear the shots. I'm like, oh shit. So, but after that, the shots continued. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't the music anymore. And, my friend Angel, he's a pretty big dude, but he's not. I'm from up north. I'm from the projects. So I'm used to, that kind of environment sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I'm a little rough around the edges. Angel's not. He was like, pretty sheltered and like raised in church, and he wasn't about that life, if you know what I'm saying. So, and he's a pretty chill, calm demeanor type of person, and I'm like, so, I was like, yeah, those are shots. You need to get down. Mind you, he's like 6'3", so. So, I'm average height. He's like 6'3". So I'm like, get down. I tell him to get down, and I stood up because I wanted to see what was going on. And initially, after we realized it was shots, we figured it was probably just a shooting between two parties by the entrance, or something to do with security or the police, something that had nothing to do. Never did we think someone was there to like attack us just for being what we are. You know what I mean? Like we never thought that. Like it was just, okay, it's a dispute between two parties. Maybe someone stole somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend, or, jealous rage, or a disgruntled employee, or maybe a scuffle happened in the parking lot. I don't know, some homophobic shit probably went down. I'm sorry, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you're good. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so maybe something went down. Like, we don't know, maybe it's one party against the security guard. Like, we don't know what's going on.
So right now you're in a separate room, but you're like in the farthest corner of the entrance. You said it was like to your right diagonally, right?
Yeah. So if you enter the club, it would have been to the left. You walk to the left, and then there's a whole long bar there. Like it's deep. So if you enter that bar, like the stage is straight in front of you, way down. It's narrow. So yeah.
There's no exit over there though?
I'm sorry?
There's no exit over there?
There are exits, but people started rushing towards where I knew where those exits were, which is like heading towards the dressing rooms. I had performed there once before, so I'm very familiar with the dressing room. So I saw people kind of like rushing through there, like to that side, and I didn't even bother going over there because I just felt like, we were gonna be like trampled or something. Like, so I'm like looking for another outlet, and then, the shooting continues, and Angel's just like, Jeff, like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm like, no, like, stay, just let's try to. I was trying to, like, as fast as I could. It was so fast. I was trying to figure out where else could we go. We didn't know that there was another exit to our left facing the front of the club, but it looks like it's part of the wall, and we weren't aware that that was an exit. And directly in front of us, there's a little arched hallway, and that's where the bathrooms are. Men's on the left, women's on the right. And I had him get down, but I stood up. Taking a risk, I could have probably gotten shot, but I just had to see. I'm that type of person that's got to see. Like, it's like the chick in the Bible, like Lot's wife, when God tells everybody to leave and don't look back or you turn into a pillar of salt. Well, I'm that motherfucker that'll turn into a pillar of salt because I got to look. So that's just my nature. But anyway, whatchamacallit, yeah. So Angel's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, but Angel, that's a trap. Like, there's no windows, there's no doors. Like, where are we gonna go? There's nowhere to go. We're gonna be like sitting ducks. We don't know what's happening. And he's like, Jeff, I just feel like, I'm like, you know what? Just go. So he went. He made it to the bathroom, and I stayed behind. And
at this point, I'm just curious. Did you still think it was a dispute, or was it becoming clear that you guys could potentially be in danger?
Right after Angel left is when I realized, okay, this is something else and I could be in danger. Yes. So that's when, like, the fear set in because the shooting wouldn't stop. It didn't stop from that whole time when he walked in. It was just nonstop shots.
And you hadn't seen anything at this point? You're just still hearing shots?
No, just hearing them. No, just hearing them. And I'm like, okay. And they were getting closer. And now I think he was just killing people up by the main dance floor and bar and out that way. And then he started heading this way. And I was like, I could see someone I was by the bar. I was, ducked under, where the bar stools are. I'm kind of like there and that in front of the bar stool where the bar stools are. I'm kind of like hidden there, and I can sense someone was walking by, and I can hear someone get shot to my left. Pop, pop. I heard the shots to my left, and I can see someone was walking. I could see the legs. I still don't know I assume that was our shooter. That's what it had to be. I'm like, but I don't know if it was somebody like walking, looking for a place to go, and they got shot, but, to hide. And I'm like, but I assumed it was our shooter, and they got closer. And that's when I was like, holy shit. With each shot, it smelled like, gunpowder. It's like, it smells like fireworks on the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. So, and I could smell it, and it was so close. Like, each bang, like I could feel it in my chest, and like it was vibrating in my chest. And I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, somebody told me, Jeff, you better make a move, and you better make a move like right now. So I look towards the bathroom hallway, and I see this guy, who I believe was African American, and he was just like signaling. He's dressed in white, and he's just like yo, like, come over here, like I got you. He's signaling like, come on. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, just do it. So I run across, and, we all talk shit about people who slip and fall in horror movies. Like, I legit slipped and fell.
Oh, wow.
I legit slipped and fell.
Oh,
what happened?
God.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just laughing that you said that. Like, we all talk shit about people who fall down.
Yeah, it's true. I'm myself included. So I'm like, I actually fell. Like, I slipped and fell, and the dude stuck his hands under my arms, like under my armpits, and just lifted me up and threw me into the bathroom. I never saw him again. I don't know if he ended up in the bathroom with us. I don't know if he got killed. I don't even know if that was like some spiritual thing, like, angel in disguise type thing, like guiding me, like come into here. Like, I don't know, but I don't recall seeing him again. So, I just do that. I do know that, when I went by the 2 urinals, I'm like panting. I'm like, I'm looking at the urinals. I see the big handicap stall. So I get in there, and there's about like 15 or so people already in that stall. I'm thinking there's gonna be like 3 people, maybe myself included. There was more people. There was like 15 or so people in there. It was packed. And it's, the handicap stall with the toilet, with the sink in it, and I see Angel. And, I duck under the sink with Angel, and everybody's kind of huddled. And, we eventually hear the shooting get closer and more people screaming. And he comes into the bathroom. And he shot over the stall and under the stall. And he left. When he shot over the stall, I got shot in my leg. I wasn't. I've always heard. I've never been shot before, but I've always heard from family members or friends who, have been shot and stuff like that, military or street stuff. They're like, oh, when you get shot, it's like a rush of heat, and I felt that rush of heat, in my leg. And I was like, okay, I've been shot. I've been shot. And then I looked down and I was wearing like army green jeans, like skinny jeans, almost like hunter green. And I look and I see just turning brown, like, like burgundy. And I was like, okay, I'm bleeding. I'm like, all right, I got shot. I think I'll be fine. I'm going to be all right. And I did realize that a couple people, several others were injured. And I think 1 or 2 had been killed. And I was like, okay, this is real. And I didn't understand what was happening. Like, we still didn't know what was going on. Like, we were like, okay, what's going on? Because if it's someone that's pissed off or jealous or, some type of relationship thing, or why are they coming to us? Are they looking for someone specific? Like, what's going on here? Like, we didn't know, and I was still confused. We all were. And we can hear him go into the second bathroom, and the women's bathroom. And we can hear people's cries for help. We can hear them saying, like, please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Why are you doing this? Like, please, no. Like, he wouldn't even let them finish their sentence. And it was just pop, pop, pop. And that still haunts me, because I'm a person that likes to, do something about it. Like, if I can help, I can help. And the fact that I couldn't do nothing, I was just, injured and sitting on the bathroom floor bleeding out from my leg. I couldn't do shit. So you feel useless and you wish you could do something to help them, and you can't. So, we're just sitting there listening to the chaos in the other bathroom. And I had friends in the other bathroom. Thankfully, a couple of them did survive in the other bathroom. And one of the girls in our stall, we're all like freaking out. Everyone's just like crying or like trying to keep it quiet. We're just like, clenching our teeth, holding in the pain, like for, assessing the situation as best we could, because we're all confused. And we end up hearing one of the girls, she's like, oh, it hurts. And she's like, I don't want to die here. And we're like, I know, we get it. Look, I was shot too. She's like, my leg hurts. Look, I was shot. I'm like, I know, listen, I was shot too. Like, but we got to keep quiet, all right? Like, listen, just try to keep it under control. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how many people are out there. We don't know what the hell's going on. Like, you got to keep quiet. And she's like, okay. And, a little bit after, we hear what sounded like the police were there. And I don't even know, they may have gone in there, but to our knowledge, I think it was that our shooter had police walkie-talkies or scanners.
Yeah.
So she heard that and she got excited. Like, she was like, oh my God, like, I don't want to die here. Like we're in here. Like, she kind of stood up on the stall wall, like, hop in. And she was like holding on to the stall wall. Like, I don't want to die. Like, we're in here. There's injured. And like, please, like, get me out of here. Like, she got a little like prematurely excited, I guess you could say. And we were like, no. Everyone's like, shut up. Like, get back down. Like, and she's like, I'm in here. Like, so we were like, what the fuck? And he came back.
Wow.
He came back a second time. Now, we were really scared because if he didn't get us the first time, he's going to definitely make sure he gets us the second time. And When he came in back, we could hear him giggling, and like, kind of like an evil laugh. And he was speaking in Arabic, and and you know, and nothing against my Arabic brothers and sisters, because I love, Arabic culture and my people. And by the way, that's in my DNA as well. Culturally, I'm Latino, Puerto Rican, but I did my DNA test and I do have that in me as well. So, but anyway, off topic. But yeah, so he starts speaking Arabic and he said some things. He's like laughing. We can hear him reloading his gun. And Angel's just looking at me. He's like, Jeff, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And I was like, you're not going to die. I think everything's going to be all right. I think it's going to be all right. Obviously, I'm not sure of that myself. I literally just kind of like curled my lips and closed my eyes. I did like a little prayer and just, and prepared to embrace it. Just take it. Like, this is the end. And that's it. There's nothing we could do about it. And we're trapped and our backs are against the wall, literally. And, you get that feeling almost like when you watch a horror movie and someone's cornered and you're cornered by the zombies and there's nowhere else to run. It's literally that in real life, And he shot through the stall wall and he just proceeded to start shooting. Pop, 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 pop. And it was like I closed my eyes, but I peeked a little bit. And as I peeked, I could see the holes were forming across the stall wall in a zigzag pattern. And one thing that's when I was shot more times. I was not aware of it at first. Angel's like, Jeff, you're bleeding. Jeff, you're bleeding. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was shot in my leg. And I didn't really want to show him that I was shot in my leg because I didn't want to freak him out, And all that time I had kind of kept my composure. And then he's like, no, you're bleeding from here. And when he points to my neck, I was like, what? And I see my neck / collarbone. I touch it and like my finger went into the hole. And I was like, holy crap. And it just started like squirting in his face. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I started covering it with my hand, kind of squirted on him. It was coming out with heat and with pressure, and I was like, that's not good. That's not good. I didn't even feel it. I think it's from the adrenaline rush. I didn't even feel getting shot there. I didn't even know until he told me. So yeah, it was crazy. And once I saw that and I knew I was shot there, I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to make it out of here. It's a wrap for me. And I realized, I looked down, I was shot in my stomach and as well. I was like, yeah, I'm done. So I was trying to hold on the best I could. As that, what I forgot to say, oh my God, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. When he came back the second time, the first person who got shot was the girl.
Wow.
The girl who was saying, I don't want to die, help us. And when he reloaded he shot her first. I'm sorry. Let me get my story straight here. He shot her first. He shot her on the side of the head and the side of her body. And then that's when he reloaded. And when she fell on top of me. She fell on my lap. And she was just kind of shaking. And, she was looking at me and I'm looking at her and I'm just like, I was like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And she was like, like just nodding her head and saying, and all I could do, because I was at that point, I had only been shot at my leg. Remember, all I could do was, kind of caress her and like, kind of caress her hair and her head and just make her feel as comfortable as possible on my lap. It was pretty quick. She was there just for like, I don't know, a minute or two and she passed. Like, not even a minute, it was like seconds. So, and then she passed away in my lap. And that's when after that is when he reloaded.
And after he shot into the stall wall, we said like a zigzag, then he just walked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and then
yes.
To your knowledge, when he walked out, how soon after that, did it end or did it continue going after that?
It went on. He kept shooting And yeah, that whole thing with the girl, it just traumatized. You know, it's something I still dream about her. But anyway, so when he left the bathroom, he continued shooting throughout the club in different parts. It was lesser shots, like pop, pop here, one pop there. You know, it was like pop. You know, it was like random shots and few in between. And then he never came back to the bathroom. But you know, now the panic ensued. I started like my eyes kind of rolled back in my head. I went on a little bit of a trip. People say your life flashes before your eyes. I started seeing different parts of my childhood mixed with my teenage years, mixed with something I did last week. It was like a flip book of different memories playing at random all at the same time. And like there was even when I was at my grandparents' house. My grandparents passed a long time ago, and I was at toddler height. My eye level was toddler height, and I was playing hide and go seek at my grandparents' house. And it's like my brain was showing me memories that were locked away that you forgot you even had.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I hear Angel's like, Jeff, Jeff, Jeff. And I woke up and he was like, bro, your eyes turned white. Like your eyes rolled back. Like you went on, I thought I lost you there. So I kind of went on a little bit of a trip. Anyway, so I get up, find out, I'm like, where's V? Where's V? Where's V? And we didn't know where V was at. And he's like, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. And then V hears that. She's like, Jeff, is that you? And we were like, yeah. So she was in the stall with us the whole time. Unfortunately, the people who were in front of her got shot and died and fell on top of her. So she had several 100 pounds of weight on her because that's dead bodies, that's dead weight. And, you know, she had to like crawl under the people to get to me. She's like, are you okay? And I said, no. I was like, I've been shot here and here. When she saw my neck, she's an ER medic. So when she saw my neck, she said, oh no, oh no, 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 that's not good. So she crawled her way over. She took control of the bathroom. She like was like, you put pressure on her. You tie that on him. You like, she was like, took control of that bathroom, and she saved my life.
Wow.
You know, she was basically the first responder of all people to be trapped with. You want an ER medic to be with you, right? So yeah. And what ended up happening was we were waiting and you know, V was doing her best to keep me afloat. She started like doing tourniquets. If I remember correctly, I think she took off her bra to like tie stuff around me, or another guy, I forget. Like she was MacGyvering everything she could to keep us afloat. She did speak to the police outside, and she was like, you know, what the fuck is going on? Like, we've been waiting forever. What's going on? I'm losing people. She was like, I can't save everybody. It's just, I got my bare hands. Like, I don't have equipment. I don't have anything with me. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, you know, there's just, you know, we have some complications, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know what was going on. They were trying to negotiate with him. I guess there was some bomb threats made after the fact. However, everyone was upset that the response wasn't fast enough to get us out of there. It's a small club, and it took 3.5 hours to get us out of there.
Wow.
Okay, 3.5 hours. It was worse than Uvalde. Worse.
Wow.
So they kind of dropped the ball a bit, you know, and I may be mistaken. I forget. I think when SWAT was called, I think they were pissed off at the cops. I forget if that's how it went. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. I was like, why did you guys take so long? Why didn't you guys fucking call us earlier? Like, well, like, I forgot how that story goes. But anyway, they took 3.5 hours to get to us. Like, more people died who could have been saved. You know, V's doing her best to like save everybody she could, and she couldn't. And when she's talking to the guys outside or the negotiators, they're like, yeah, another reason is because he made bomb threats. Supposedly he had either bombs on himself or he had put bombs on the cars outside of the club. And he said, if you guys try anything, I'm not just going to blow up the club. I'm going to blow up the whole freaking block, you know, which includes innocent people sleeping in their homes. So now it's like, okay, now we got to work with this guy, you know, like, so, which that came after the fact, like way before the response. They could have gotten us out there earlier than that. You know, the bomb situation was mentioned, to my knowledge, way after. So we're there. Like, V didn't want to tell me. She was just like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to die. We're fucking dead. Like, we're all just going to blow up. And she did the best she could. And in the end, she ended up saving 2 people, myself and another guy. The other people she attempted to save didn't make it, unfortunately. they sent in like a R2D2 type robot on wheels into the club to tell us like, hey, there's gonna be an explosion. So I guess the bomb squad came out or SWAT or whatever, and they were putting explosives on the outside wall of the bathroom to get us out.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
yeah, so they told us to get back, and we moved back. They slid me back, because I couldn't move. At this point, my body's numb, and I feel nothing but my left arm and my neck. Like I couldn't feel anything else. Everything was numb. So I'm sorry, my right arm. I can only feel my right arm. So everything was numb, and they had to literally slide. Like 3 people had to slide me, and they said cover your ears. I covered one ear with one hand. I couldn't move my other hand, so V covered me with her other hand. So we were just like, and doing the best we could, and they detonated a couple of explosives to get the hole going to rescue us. The pipes burst, the toilet, sink, everything burst. So you got a huge toxic mess of toilet water, sink water, cement, debris, metal, mixture of my blood, the deceased's blood. So you got a whole situation going on there. And, we're like sitting there and laying in that puddle of an open wounds, so we have no choice. And they started the rescue mission, and they started to get people out, one by one. And I know a couple people went ahead of me, and then they were like, take him. V's like, he's got to go first. Like, we can take. She's like, no, get him. And I know like 4 people helped me get up through the hole, and I fell to the ground on my back. I remember the grass is wet, and it was like 5 a.m. at this point, and so they 5:30 a.m. Several people picked me up, threw me in the back of a truck. Not in the bed of a truck. I was in the back seat. And there's one officer. I wish I could meet him and shake his hand and give him a hug. I remember him. I just hear his voice. I could see the side profile of him. He could have been white, Italian, or light-skinned Latino. I just remember him saying, I got you, buddy. I got you, buddy. Stay with me, all right? Stay with me, buddy. Stay with me. Like, and I was like, Like, I was in and out of it at that point. Like, I couldn't. V was slapping me prior to the rescue, right before the rescue. V was slapping me hard, like an ex-boyfriend type shit, because I was falling on her. Like I was drifting away, and I was so sleepy. I'm like, I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep. And she's like, no. Listen to me. She's like, she grabbed me by my face. She's like, listen to me. If you fall asleep, you're gone. You're not sleepy. You're losing blood pressure. That's why you feel sleepy. You're not fucking sleepy. She was like, stay up. And she kept, I'm like, okay. And then I drift off, and whack, she smacked me again. She's like, no, stay up. She's like, we got plans, right? We're going to Greece. We're going to Puerto Rico. We got plans. Like, you can't leave. You can't die on me. You gotta stay up. And so she kept me up. And then in the back of the truck, he just said, stay with me. And I think he went over a median, because it was like bam, 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 bam. I was like, and he pawned me over to some paramedics, and the paramedics pawned me over brought me to the hospital, and the hospital's right down the street from the club. Thank God, it's several blocks over, and I made it in, bro, and I was drifting in and out, and I remember seeing the neon white lights one after another. So I was like, okay, I'm in the hospital, and I couldn't feel nothing but my right hand, like I told you. So I was touching my pocket to see if I still had my wallet in me, because that way they could identify me if I died. And I felt it. I was like, okay, I got it. And they were like, what's your name? And I was just like, Jeffrey. They're like, Jeffrey? And I was like, yes. They're like, okay, like, blah, 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 blah. And they put oxygen mask on me. It was super cold. I started coughing, and I ripped it off. And they were like, no, that's helping you breathe. That's all. And I was like, but it's cold. You're good. So they put it back on me, and I ripped it off a second time. And they're like, pin his hands down. They pinned my hands down. They put it back on me, and disappeared. I didn't wake up for 2 days later. Yeah, I woke up 2 days later.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, which is online therapy. Everything is completely online. It is customizable, and it's trying to be as convenient as possible for you. So if you want to do it every single week, or you want to do it bi-weekly or once every month, you can do that. Also, the best part about it, I think, is that it's affordable. So it's a good way to get your foot in the door with therapy. I myself have been in therapy for years now, and I think that it's very important. I think that people should be in it. But yeah, it's also more affordable than in-person therapy, which I think is a big deterrent for a lot of people, because it can be very expensive to do if you don't have the right insurance. So the fact that it is a fraction of the cost is very helpful. But yeah, so go check out BetterHelp. And we could save you some extra money as well on top of that. You can go to betterhelp.com/OPL today to get 10% off of your first month. That is BetterHelp, spelled BetterHelp.com, and use that code OPL. So betterhelp.com/OPL, get 10% off your first month, and jump right into therapy. Hopefully it helps you in the same way that it helped me. Our next sponsor is Cook Unity. Cook Unity is not a regular meal delivery service. These are meals that are made by award-winning chefs, okay? So it's not just regular stuff. These are award-winning chefs that are making these meals that show up right to your doorstep. There's no cleanup, there's no planning or anything like that. They just show up to your door already cooked, and all you got to do is heat them up for 5 minutes, and then you're good to go. For a lot of people, meal prepping and cooking every night, it's very time consuming. Some people are parents, some people, work a lot, or some people just don't really have an interest in cooking in that way. And eating out or going to restaurants and stuff can be very, very expensive. So with Cook Unity, you can get these award-winning chefs' meals right to your door, and save some time and money. And they have amazing meals to choose from. I mean, they have creamy Tuscan salmon. They have thinly sliced ribeye. It's amazing. Jambalaya pasta and creamy Creole sauce. They have amazing stuff. So if you've always wanted to kind of expand your palate as far as food goes and try a bunch of different meals from award-winning chefs, this is the way to do it with Cook Unity. And you can go to cookunity.com/OPL or enter the code OPL before checkout for 50% off of your first week. Okay, that is 50% off your first week by using the code OPL or going to cookunity.com/OPL. So I'm a big food, lover. I love going to nice restaurants and, paying attention to the chefs and this and that. This is such an awesome product. I mean, I'm going to use it for sure. So go to cookunity.com/OPL. Enjoy that 50% off your first week. And yeah.
Wow.
How many times were you shot?
I was shot 4 times, and I've had 12 surgeries spread out over the years because of my injuries.
And have they left any lasting injuries?
Yeah. My collarbone is titanium now, and they shattered it. And I had, at one point for the first year, I had a colostomy bag. Mm-hmm. So I was pooping through a bag. And thankfully I was able to have that reversed a year later. Some people were not so lucky, and I mean, I guess I saved a lot on toilet paper, but it was crazy. And I didn't have any feeling in my leg for the first couple of years. I didn't have feeling. I was numb. Yeah, it was no feeling at all. I could move it. I had no feeling. And then eventually I started getting sensations, the pins and needles numbing sensation. Mm-hmm. So the doctors are like, okay, you're getting your sensation back. And then, sometimes I would get my sensations were off. My mom would lightly rub my foot with her finger, a really light rub, and it felt like she was holding a lighter under my foot. It was heat. I was like, what the heck? My sensations were all out of whack. They said that was normal. Initially, my leg was going to be amputated.
Wow.
So, yeah, from the knee down. And when I woke up in the hospital 2 days later, I thought I was viewing my wake because the room was dimly lit, and I look all around me and I see my parents, I see family, I see friends from high school, friends from the club. And I'm like, these people would not be in the same room together unless it's a funeral. You know what I mean? I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh my God, I died. I was like, I fucking died. I'm I'm viewing my wake. I could see them. And then one of my brothers who pissed me off during the ordeal, when I first got shot, when I was bleeding out my neck, I tried to text him. I said my goodbyes on social media, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And I texted a few people, and one of my brothers didn't believe me. My brothers and I were a bunch of big jokesters and sarcastic motherfuckers. So we prank each other a lot, but I would never prank something like that two in the morning, you know? And he's playing PlayStation or Xbox, watching his son, and I sent him a picture. And I was like, dude, I got shot. He's like, yeah, right, okay. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, I'm dying. And like I was like, tell mom and dad I love them. And he's like, okay, Jeff, yeah, you're full of shit. And then I attempted to send him a video of what was happening in the bathroom and the dead bodies. And because my phone was covered in blood, I accidentally sent them a picture. It's a picture that I have that I'll never share that picture. Yeah, and it just shows, you know, some of the deceased, you know,
Jeez.
all together. And yeah, and I will never share that one. I've never shared it, never will. So he thought it was a bunch of friends of mine joking. And I'm like, dude, you know all my friends. I'm like, dude, does that look like anybody you know? I'm like, what are you talking? I was like, you know, I can't waste time with this motherfucker. Like, he pissed me off so bad that when he made me mad, the blood, it's true what our parents say, like, watch your blood pressure, because when he pissed me off, the blood just squirted out even harder and hotter. So, and I had to calm myself down. Yeah. So when I woke up in the hospital, I see him to my right, and I look and I see that I hear the beeping noises. I'm like, oh, I see the machine. I was like, oh, I'm in the hospital. And then my brother's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't believe you. I'm so sorry. He broke down. He started crying. He's like, please forgive me. I'm sorry, I didn't believe you. And I literally just stuck my middle finger at him, and I passed back out for like another day.
Oh my God. You definitely never stopped being you throughout.
No,
all of
they were
this.
like, the
I think
bitch
we
is
can
back.
tell.
The bitch is back.
They're like, the bitch is back. So, but yeah, you know, I stuck my middle finger and I just passed back out for like another day. And it was a lot of extensive physical therapy, mental therapy.
Well,
I still did
mentally,
it.
I'm curious. What, as you begin to wrap your mind around this, you finally wake up in the hospital and you get the facts of the situation. You understand what you were involved in. This is a terrorist attack, a hate crime. At the time, it was the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, until Vegas the next year, which is insane.
Yep.
You know, clearly the shooter targeted a gay nightclub. It's a Latin night. What are the feelings that you have initially? Is it anger? Is it confusion? Can you kind of walk us through what the thought process was as you began to understand, you know, what you were a victim of, and, you know, how has that evolved over time?
Yeah. When I started, you know, coming to, and the meds were wearing off because I was pretty loopy the first, you know, week or so. I was asking, like, what happened? Like, I still had not known what happened to us, but now when they told me what it was, you know, I'm like, turn on the TV, and my parents are like, no, you're not turning on the TV. I'm like, I want to say, like, turn on the fucking TV. I want to know what's going on. And the first people I asked for was V and Angel. I was like, where's Angel? Where's V? They're like, they're okay. V was not, Angel was shot, but he's at the other hospital. He's okay. And I'm like, where's V? Where's V? Like, V is fine. She wasn't shot at all. V was covered in blood. She wasn't even sure if she was shot at the moment. She just sprung to action, but, you know, but she's okay. Like, she's fine. She helped save you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, turn on the TV. They're like, no. I'm like, turn the fucking TV on. So I turn it on, and they're still replaying those memorials, you know, the candlelit vigils with slideshow of the pictures all over the news, and slideshow of everybody. And I start seeing my friends' faces. You know, I see another one, and then another one, and then some people that I don't know, and then another one. And I'm like, no. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, no. I'm like, this isn't real. And my brother's like, Jeff, yeah, they're gone. Like, they're gone, man. And I was like, like, I just broke down crying, you know, and like ugly girl crying. And it was hard. You know, I'm actually getting emotional talking about it right now, but it's really hard, man, to see your friends' faces on the screen and know that they're all gone. And I'm like, well, can we go to their service? And they're like, Jeff, their service was like last week. Like, they're already buried. They're already gone. Like, I was like, what? Like, I missed everything. You know what I mean?
How long were you in the hospital?
Wow. I was initially I was there for 3 months. Initially. And then when I've had over the course of going back for more surgeries, the total, I would say, is 6 months.
Wow.
So like, yeah. But initially the first stay was 3 months. So about 3 months, yeah. A little less than 3 months, yeah. So that's when that's how long I was there. Yeah,
Did
that
you
was
feel
hard.
survivor's guilt for having lost your friends,
Uh,
but making it out
yes,
yourself?
yes. There's times you deal with survivor's guilt. Why did this happen? What's behind it? Like and come to find out, like you said, it's billed as both a hate crime / terrorist attack. It's a little bit of both, and to our knowledge, I guess the shooter was on the DL. He was married and had kids and stuff, but due to his background, he couldn't come out and be himself, or you know, I guess that's what we're told. You know what I mean? And he was struggling with his own issues, and a lot of times people on the DL can play a dangerous game. They're not fully accepted of themselves. They can't accept themselves, and they're afraid of what society, or they'll be shunned by their family and friends, and they can't be fully themselves. And it's not a good way to live, but it happens. And then they just take out that rage on other people.
What do you feel
So
towards the shooter? I know, there's obviously a lot of opinions about this when mass shootings happen, but having been directly affected and, now 8 years coming up on
yeah,
almost, a decade since this happened.
yeah, we just did 8 years a few weeks ago, June 12th. So almost a month ago, yeah. And I feel I have a lot of rage towards that guy, and it's probably something that'll never go away. And I understand. I've become friends with other survivors and family of the deceased. Some of the moms, dads, some of them have forgiven him, and I'm like, that's great. You could do that. I can't. It's not in me. Sorry, I can't. He took away my friends. He changed my life. You know, I'm I was injured permanently. So that's not something I'm not gonna just forgive. I can't do that. So I wish they hadn't killed him, but they had to. He came out of guns ablazing. You got like 20 cruisers facing you, and you start shooting. You're going down. It's basically suicide, right? So um, I wish there was a way to have like shot him but not killed him, so that we could have like faced him in court, or you know ask him why. Because we still don't like. I'm gonna go to my grave never fully knowing why, and that kind of eats at me, and it eats at a lot of us.
Yeah.
Most people know when shit happens and why it happened. We will never have that closure. I'll never have that. Never.
Yeah.
So,
And you said also that you were like permanently injured. So like what are still 8 years later problems that you're facing because of this night?
well, I'm constantly in the hospital. That's like my second home. So because we have ongoing injury, surgeries and pain, and we got metal pieces in our bodies, and sometimes they come undone, or things break or things snap, and you got to keep going back. And I'm not the only one. Some of my other survivor brothers and sisters are facing the same. Some have had way more surgeries than me. Some have had like 20 plus surgeries, and they're dealing with the same crap I've dealt with, and we're still dealing with it now. Like one of my friends, he's back to walking, he's doing great, and just last year he was back in a wheelchair. So it's almost a decade later, and he's back in a wheelchair because they got to fix something else, or something else went wrong. So due to his injuries, and it's just like we're in and out of the ER due to ongoing after effects of our injuries.
And what about psychologically? I imagine it would be difficult to go out into crowded places, things like that. Is that something that you
Yeah,
experienced?
yeah. I come from a big military family, and my family's been in the military since like the 1800s, and so all over the place, and still today, my nephews and nieces are in the military. But anyway, I've always heard about, we always heard about PTSD, and military people with PTSD, and I always try, kind of somewhat understood it, right? You get it, but it's a complete different ball game when it happens to you, and you have a better understanding. And I'm glad that I was able to have that support system from family members who've been to war, military family members who deal with it, or in the force, and they were. I had like a little support system and built in because I have family, and not only that, but also my survivor brothers and sisters. But yeah, there were times I've gotten better with it. But one time I went with my mom and take my younger nieces and nephews to like Disney, and at night they always do the fireworks show by the castle. And this was like early on when I was first getting back out there. And dude, like as soon as the fireworks went off, I know I'm at Disney, surrounded by toddlers. I'm in the safest place on earth, and it's just fireworks. But my mind and my body told me to run and hide. I had to go to the bathroom and literally like hide in the bathroom. I was literally in the handicap stall, like shuddering from the fucking fireworks. And I was like, it was so weird. It's like I had no control over myself. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, it's just freaking fireworks. But my body was and my mind wasn't reacting to it that way. And yeah, there was several instances where that's happened. I've gone to eat with other survivors, after we were, out and about early on, and like a waiter would drop a plate or a tray of stuff and like and like everyone would get down and they'd like huddle under the table like, oh shit, covering their ears like it's like they thought it was a shooting. And I'm like, guys, it's not a shooting, like chill, like like we're all you react. It's weird. And PTSD is real, man. And you have no control over it sometimes. But over time it's gotten better. Being in crowds, that's not my favorite either. It wasn't my favorite before any of this, but after Pulse, it just got worse. Like, I don't like being at festivals. I don't like being at, parades or a lot of big events. In the last couple of years, I have gone to a few of them and I've gotten better. I'm like, but that's not my normal cup of tea. Like, I try not to go out to big events unless there's like good security, like that, like a big concert or something at an arena. Okay. But like outdoor stuff, I'm sometimes even clubs, I'm always looking over my shoulder. Go out to eat, you're looking at the exits. I'm watching all the exits all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just wild story. I imagine it's not easy to talk about, and we appreciate you coming on and like just being so honest and also painting a picture. I mean, I feel like I could see like what's happening, and I'm just like envisioning what you're telling me. I can only imagine what it's like to actually experience that, and just not only the physical injuries that you have, but like mentally, like what that would do. Like it's wild. And the fact that you also have been able to like keep this sense of humor throughout the entire thing too.
Yeah.
It's just really funny. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Like it's crazy.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, guys. And if I may, a little quick update. Angel's doing great. He's traveling the world, and he's working for an airline. And then V, still in the medical field, but she switched her thing, and she got to have her dream wedding in her homeland of Greece, and we had it there in Santorini off those white and blue cliffs, and it was like a fairy tale fantasy wedding. We got to go. I was there, did a speech. It was emotional. Like, it was amazing. And I'm glad that we had like a full 360, and everyone's just doing the best to live their best lives. And we're all still good friends today. And I've gotten to meet more survivors over the years. There's 53 injured survivors. There's only been like maybe 10 or 12 of us in the public eye. So like, there's a lot of us out there that we haven't met, but I've met more over the years, and we've become like a little family, and we get together and do stuff and travel and do things. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is like a great full circle, for you guys as friends. And all the times you mentioned just kind of the survivor group, your survivor brother and sisters. And it seems like, keeping that community alive is so important, that you guys can kind of go on and continue living and, follow these dreams and plans that you had. And that's so important. And that's why it's, just important to hear from you and for you to tell this story. Like, ultimately, it's so tragic, and you get to help keep the memory of the people who passed alive, and, show the strength of all the survivors. So we thank you so much for choosing our platform to do that.
Absolutely. And thank you. And people out there, donate blood.
Yeah.
Donate blood. That's what helped save me. Real quick, I just want to say, I know we're over time, is that I'm a rare blood type. Only 7% of the population carries mine and V's blood type. were type 1 negative, and the fact that they had enough of that in stock, I got pretty lucky. And people line up when all these tragedies happen, and they don't realize that a lot of times when you line up to donate blood, that blood doesn't go to the people who are immediately in need. Whatever they get in need is the people. It's what's in stock already. So get out there and donate because it always goes to help save lives. And yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. We think that, especially at the end, I'm glad you did that too, to like let people know, like, if you want to be proactive about something like this, it's helpful.
Absolutely.
When there's not just a tragedy happening actively, like you can get out there and donate in other ways as well.
Donate blood. Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you get.
I was gonna say that, yeah. My blood type's a universal blood type. It's the number one carried in ambulances and helicopters and emergency vehicles because it's universal. It could be given to all the other blood types. And however, we can only receive our own kind. So it's given to people with immune deficiency problems, newborn babies, cancer patients. It's the highest in demand, but it's the lowest in supply. And the biggest carriers are Latino, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we are the least group that donate. So hopefully, no matter what your blood type is, just get out there and donate and share your power, man. Help save lives, because that's what helped me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people who had donated prior.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. This has been, to say it's been really awesome is like weird, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we appreciate
it's been awesome connecting with you, and
thank you so much,
we're
guys.
Rooting for you and everything, and we're glad that you're doing well.
Thank you, man, and good luck with everything. I'm so proud of you guys. Keep it going. Great show. And, congrats on Radio City Music Hall, Joe and guys. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
For a minute, and now I'm just seeing the come up, and I love it. I love seeing people, move up and do good things. So I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Day, guy. You too, man. Bye-bye.
That guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That tends to happen on this show with people who have experienced the most unimaginable things.
Also, just like the chillest way of telling that whole story, and like we didn't even have a job to do on that episode.
Yeah.
It's just like he's just killing it. But yeah, man, that's fucking terrifying. Like you can't even imagine being in a situation like that. Like even the way that he's describing it, a part of me is like, I don't even want to believe that he's telling the truth. But of course it happened. Like, of course, like I'm not saying that, but it's like, it's hard to even comprehend something that scary. Like you only see it in movies.
Yeah.
You always think like, there's no way this could happen to me. There's
you
no
almost
way
can't
that,
even be mad at his brother for being like, you're bullshitting, man. It just shows how
unbelievable,
unreal, and like literally unbelievable.
And it's always like, because like, of course, why would that happen to someone that I know? That happens on TV. That happens to other people. So when it's actually happening, it's like, what? Like I can't even comprehend what that would do physically and mentally, like, especially, it would be terrifying to get back out there.
Yeah. And just the randomness of it, just knowing every little decision you made in that day that led to, like, were they going to go home and watch X-Men or just go out for one more drink? And then a song comes on, so you stay. And it's just makes you realize, like, oh, we don't really have control over any of this.
Or
and that's what's so scary.
The couple that was going to go out with them, and then they end up going home. Like, it's just, it's horrible. And, I don't know what the fucking answer is, but the fact that type of shit happens so much in this country, it's like we're doing something fucking wrong, dude. Like there is something wrong going on, whatever the fuck it is. I know it ain't right, because like we're the only ones who are fucking doing it at this clip. And
there's just a feeling of, oh, okay, if it's quiet right now, when's the next one coming?
Yeah.
Because it will.
Well, bro, when's the next one that we're going to hear about? They're always coming.
Sure.
Like, that's the thing that's fucking crazy. Like, if you look up stats about how many, like, mass shootings there's been since the beginning of the year, like, forget about it. Do one in the last month. Well, you'll probably find fucking many. Like, it's wild that it's happening in this country at that.
Right. It has to keep, like, upping the score of, like, oh, now this is the deadliest. Right. Now this is the deadliest.
It's terrible.
And even that, Vegas happened 1 year after the Pulse nightclub shooting. 1 year after.
God.
Thank you to Jeff.
Yeah. Hope he's doing well. And for anyone else on the show who's listening, if you want to be on the show, hit us up. Our email is oplpodcast@gmail.com. Just reach out and we'll get back to you.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at OPL Podcast. You can support the show at patreon.com/OPL show and donate blood.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next time.